And we're live. There we go. Pop out chat. Here we go. Welcome to the, if you're here, welcome to the stream. Just wanted to kind of, just want to kind of like talk about the year 2020 as it relates to me personally. If you guys have any questions, just ask me. But all I can say is 2020 has been a pretty interesting year for me. So yeah, just hit me with the questions and maybe I'll start talking about it. I began the year when I was owner of the Trombone Discord server, which, yeah, it'll be a little interesting if I can contain myself, I guess. I was owner of the Trombone Discord server when I began this year, and I was owner until like maybe like spring, early to mid spring of this year, when the members really just wanted new leadership. Really, it's much more complicated than that, and the blame falls far more heavily on me. Except ultimately, I ultimately needed to step down and hand the server to someone else. That leadership took over, and so not long after that, I basically kind of decided like that I needed to move on from the server as well. So I left the server and finished a project I had started like the winter before, that I thought of doing like the summer before. And the project I finished was the project called The Life of Arthur Pryor, which I'm probably gonna link to actually right here. Let me grab that link here. If you guys are, it's on my YouTube channel somewhere. I'll just link it right here if you guys want to watch it. Again, I gotta find it here. Here we go. Rumble. Here we go. All right, so there you have it. I wanted to do a documentary about Arthur Pryor because primarily because no one else has done it, and two, I was kind of figured, well, why don't I just do it? You know, like I had the skills. I mean, I had made if you look at my channel, I had made other informational videos before, like 3 of them for the Trauma Discord server, as it related to what installment projects are, what the server is, and a server update. Of course, none of those three are relevant anymore. But I privatized them after I left the server, because simply I didn't want my channel to represent what I at the time saw as my failure, despite like hundreds of hours, like, I'm not kidding, hundreds of hours put into that server and all that. Recap in the year 2020. And like part of the things some of what I struggled with was like, I personally fully knew that like all that I'd worked on was out of good faith. Of course, I made mistakes, but like after I had to leave, I was just kind of like, am I really a good person out of all this? Is there some part of me that's still bad, despite how good I tried to demonstrate myself to be for like a year and a half when I was owner and admin of the Trauma Discord server, something like that. Actually, let me. Yeah, Yeah, I'm just gonna delete this one. Bye bye. There we go. I'm on my Discord server now just because I tried streaming like seconds ago. Here. Copy. Live now. Hang on. Live now. And then Chris Bill's server. There. That's really all I'm gonna do, basically. Bot log. Yeah, I deleted messages. So where was I? I left the Discord server and school was moved online. That coronavirus is a whole other thing. Yeah, school was moved online, and what eventually happened was I had actually the time to actually work on the Arthur Pryor documentary that I'd with using the time I had now had away from the Trauma Discord server. So I worked on that documentary using Premiere Pro, which was then offered to universities for free if they had already like had it in their plan or whatever. So I took advantage of that. I did as well because otherwise Premiere Pro is like $50 a month, and that is just money I do not have. I was able to finish the project, and I actually got myself quite comfortable using Premiere Pro, and finished the project. And this was before I'd even gotten any new technology. This is before I got any new equipment, which is a whole nother story I can get into later, really. Let's do this. How's my CPU doing? Well, that's fine. It's at 61%. Obviously not a gaming rig or anything like that. I published the video. I released it about a month later, in like May, I think, or April 30th it was. I'm not sure what it was, but released it, published it. A lot of people liked it. Did pretty well. Took about half a year to get 1,000 views, which I guess was okay. But like yet again, it was the first ever documentary released about Arthur Pryor, because I had looked everywhere for it, and ultimately was proud of myself for it. Arthur Pryor documentary. I'm personally very proud of it. It's just I looked through absolutely everything I could, and the biggest resource I had was someone did a dissertation about his life, and mostly his music. His music wasn't really that interesting, honestly, but I paid mostly attention to his life. Like I was like every little thing I learned, I was fascinated, honestly. It was like, ooh, I gotta share this, you know? Combine my fascination of history with my skills as a electronic media major at my school, and and what you get is basically something along the lines of the Arthur Pryor documentary, really. Next month rolls around. I mean, a week goes by, and my video's doing well and all that, and I'm like, all right, what else do I want to do now? Well, it was Pride Month. Well, it was May, and Pride Month was next month, and I wanted to do a video about someone who wasn't just yet another white male or something like that, like Arthur Pryor was, and I kind of figured, like, oh, could it be a woman? Could it be a man? Maybe not a man. Could it be a woman? Could it be a person? Could it be a person of color? Could it be this or that, or LGBTQ or anything like that? And I was like, well, I do remember reading this. Obituary about a trombonist who died at 15, then a year and a half prior, now 2 years prior, about Malawi McDonald. And when I read that obituary, I was very happy to get to know about someone, but really sad that their life ended, and that was the first I ever got to know about them. So, part of me was thinking, like, a lot was missing in the life they lived, despite all they achieved in the short life they lived. Um, so I reached out to their mother, Laura, and it was of all things, honestly, like their like reaching out to a dead child's mother was kind of the oddest thing you could probably do, really. And at first she said she was open to discussing it. I mean, I'd shown her, I'd in the message in my invitation to her about a documentary, I'd share with her that I'd done a documentary about Arthur Parr, and she was, which I guess showed some credibility. She does not know who I am, so obviously she was a little skeptical. Um, as I started interviewing people, and as I started doing a lot more research and compiling all of what I had together, June rolls around, and then the family kind of says, like, we have the full support. They're proudly announcing that this is going on, this is happening. We have the full support. It's going well. And Laura's doing well as well, and Laura does well, really, because she was very helpful when she was able to be helpful, and that was because she was a very busy woman, being a wife, a mother of two, formerly three in this case, and a daughter of two, and co-owns a family business. So I wasn't always able to reach out to her and kind of say, like, all right, this is correct. Kind of have to wait from time to time being. As I garnered more and more information, I actually decided to make this Malawi project my summer like independent study class. So I decided to do this for like credit and all that, and the school allowed me to do that, actually. And ultimately I was really proud that I was able to do this project for school credit, which gave my parents a sigh of relief, knowing that what I was working on was actually worth actually doing. And as I did the project over the summer, I spent like pretty much the entire almost half the summer doing research in Malawi's Facebook, which took an entire month, basically. And getting to know like their life through the lens of their Facebook, reading through their entire Facebook, like that gave me access to even more information on top of the boatload I was able to obtain from like the 9 or so interviews I'd done in May. So I had more to work with, and as the summer came to a close, I started to realize this might end up being my capstone project, my senior capstone project for the final semester. Because the scripts started getting longer and longer, I had much more to work with, and then the families, and then like toward the end of summer, the McDonald family basically told me, we have this we have this box of all the things that Malawi collected over the years of them being alive, and it was a box of like hundreds upon hundreds of musical programs that Malawi of concerts that Malawi had been to and performed at. It's a big fat box. I mean, usually someone who lives an entire life fills a box that big, but Malawi filled it in like 13, 14, 15, like 3 years. Something like 3 years or something like that. Which is honestly pretty amazing. Like in a span of like 6 months, they became a full-time musician. Like if they were still living, like they probably would not have even needed to go to college. It's crazy, honestly. All the things they were willing to, they all the things they had passion for in just like a short amount of time, really. Lobby, what's this? Cade, welcome, Cade. Welcome, Cade. My guess. Welcome, Cade. Join my server. Account creation 8 months ago. Okay. So the Malawi project eventually became my senior capstone project. It got approved. It got the green light, which was excellent and all that. And And I began the class like with 110% confidence that I was going to finish the whole thing. I was pretty chill and all that. that I was gonna finish the whole thing because I had started the project back in May. Like how am I gonna be late for this or anything like that? And then basically like as I was looking through the box, there was just so much to go through. I spent like a weekend, I think, just kind of going through the box and then like organizing everything because some of it wasn't really that organized. And after going through everything, like I had finally had the full confidence that like I had actually done all the research for the Malawi project, and it's like then it's like I think October or something like that, and I'm editing a lot of the project really, and and then a month rolls by, and then it's the first week of November, which is about 3 weeks away from the deadline or the 85% deadline of the project really. Um, and then I have this mandatory meeting with my capstone class professor who basically asked me, because like, hey, how's the project going? Is everything going smoothly? Do we have to talk about this emergency backup plan? And I kind of tell him like, I completely know what I'm doing. I know what I need to do. I'm just not so sure if I'm actually getting it done because it's already on track to be over 2 hours long. And he says, if you have to do a shorter version that's, again, it only have to be at least 6 minutes long, I can do with that. And if you have to finish the longer version later or whatever, you can do that. So I do that, and what I come up with is the short version of a 49-minute long video that most of you have seen by now. Like, despite the fact that I had to leave out so much, like so much, due to like time restrictions, like how much time I had to make all this, I'm pretty proud of like how much I'm pretty proud of like whatever I was able to put out there, and the people that were impacted by Malawi's life, like they really liked it, and I was pretty pleased, honestly. The video performed well. A lot of people liked it. I forwarded it to a lot of people. Internet trauma communities around the world liked it, and yeah. I guess one thing that largely goes unknown is just like how stressful this project was for me, because like the more I start to realize how amazing Malawi's life was, the more I was thinking like, if I work in this now, am I going to do as well as Malawi would have wanted it to be? And if the answer was no, by any stretch of imagination, I just wasn't working. I only worked when I had the full confidence and actually like had the courage and confidence to actually work on the whole thing. So that was a big toll and all that. It was also a little emotional for me because like I learned so much about Malawi's life. I kind of was wondering like, do I even deserve to know this much about someone who only lived to 15? And like, and the other thing too is like, I didn't even know about this person until after they died. So why should I deserve any ounce of? It's like, why should I deserve any ounce of? Why am I deserving of knowing about someone's life well after they're dead? Why couldn't it be one of their friends whom they've known? Like, wouldn't they do a better job than I did? And it was that part of doubt in me that I had to overcome, and ultimately I did overcome that, and that was kind of a relief fact that after I finished the whole thing, I was able to relax and kind of give a big sigh of relief and kind of say, I finally did it, and you could say I learned a lot from that experience actually. I'd worked on the project for 6 months, while also balancing a thing or two as I was doing that really. And the biggest drawback to working on this project was for so many hours, was all the time I spent not with my family outside in the swimming pool in the summer, or time spent not with my girlfriend, not hanging out with her, and instead spending time working on this project really. It's just that's time I'll never get back, but I'm not gonna say what it was, but like, you know, the McDonald family was able to. I mean, they paid me their thanks. That's all I can say about that, really. Um. So yeah, we're not having a lot of viewers this time around. So the highlight of this year was definitely my Malawi documentary. Um, it got it got like 2.5 times the, like, despite the fact that the Malawi video was just maybe a little longer than my Arthur Parr video. The Malawi video had 2.5 times as much watch time as the Arthur Parr video did. So yeah, really happy about that. I think as far as subscriber count, I think I began my YouTube channel like after I left the Discord server, I had like maybe 168 or something like that, or 150, 160 or something like that. The Arthur Pryor video got me to like 190. I then released the Joe Leslie Lion King video, which got me like an extra 180, and then released the Joe Leslie Lion King video, which got me up to like 195. Joe asks me to take it down, which I did, because because at this time I know nothing about fair use, and I was basically comply with his request, and that was the end of that story. And I had to publicly admit, like, yeah, I had to do this and all that. And, you know, like doing that, like, and I had done other like funny videos before, simply because, one, I wanted to exercise my editing skills, and two, I wanted to exercise my humorous imagination. Some of the things I realized was, like, you know, some of the things I learned from all this was, like, one, you can do this, and two, like, even if you, like, 99%, two is like 99 to 95% of the time, if you come up with this silly, really funny, really silly idea, and you present it to the people who you want to present it to the people who you want to share it with, and you ask their permission, 99% of the time they're going to say no, because they don't want it out there, or two, it's because it's misrepresentative of their likenesses and all that. So why did I I guess the last question is, like, why did I re-release the videos that did not get permission to be posted in the first place? I learned about something called fair use. And fair use is basically saying you can, obviously I can't re-upload someone's entire video, but what I can do is use like a part of it. If you watch the Malawi, so for example, if you watch the Malawi McDonald video, I talk about how the bass trombone is quite a hard instrument to handle, even for professionals. I share like a 2-second clip of the Aries Trombone Quartet that highlights James Markey, the bass trombone player, using a Sheridan Get-A Grip, which is an ergonomic support for his bass trombone, and ultimately decide, like, I'm just going to use these 2 seconds to kind of demonstrate that pros actually use these kind of things. So regarding fair use, taking advantage of the whole fair use thing, I kind of figured, well, even if it was impermissible to post this, I can still legally post it and all that, even if someone says no to it and all that. Whoever dropped the like, by the way, thank you so much for that. Appreciate it. So basically, I had a conversation with someone who I'm not going to reveal, and what I kind of start to realize is, I can post this. Everyone knows that I took it down per Joel S.'s permission, but I'm deciding to repost it again. simply because I learned about something called fair use. And what it really came down to was, I mean, not just about fair use and all that, or even respecting people's wishes, but also it's just like, do, and I'm not going to talk about it now. Maybe I'll talk about it later. It's just like, do I want to, do I want to live my life, respecting? Do I want to live my life and limit myself? Do I want to listen to those who tell me what I can't do legally, can't legally do, or do I want to look at myself and kind of say, do you want to exercise what you can, your rights as far as what you can legally do? So I kind of felt long term like, do I want to? I guess I'll say it again. Do I want to live? Do I want to listen to those who tell me what I can't legally do, or listen to those who basically tell me what I can do? Obviously, everyone knows. By now, everyone knows what what path I chose, and as expected, there was a lot of pushback, and there was a divide between like a lot of support and a lot of like, what the fuck did you just do? You know, like I posted on Reddit and the trauma subreddit, and it got 2 awards, and in other places like people were saying like, oh my goodness, why did you do that? Didn't Joe ask you to take that down? Oh my goodness, screw you, man. Like I totally get that, and my response to that is simply like, until this is considered strictly illegal by a judge, then I'll take it down right now, basically, because as far as I'd like to think, it abides by fair use, basically. So, another thing too is like parody videos and like comedic or humorous retellings of like mini stories and all that. Like it's happened all the time. Like in political ads, like people attack each other in political ads. Like SNL happens. That's another thing too. And at the end of the day, it's not like you make a funny video about someone and they tell you can't legally keep it up forever or anything like that. If that were the case, we would not have a lot. We would not have a lot of control over our own content or our own creative ideas or anything like that. I think at the end of the day, people just need to recognize what is intentionally made for a funny video and what is actually made to put someone down. Like obviously, I'm not. It's like obviously I'm not someone who sees myself like making videos actively putting someone down simply because of this or that or anything like that. I still think Joe Ellis is a great, brilliant player. I ordered his Holiday Classics Juilliard Choir CD. Joe Ellis is still a great player. He absolutely deserves every he absolutely deserves his respect and all that. And yeah, so I still think he's a great player. Like him being great doesn't mean someone doesn't get to like. It's like him being great doesn't mean no one gets to not make a funny video about him. Like I'm not going to say his name. You can probably figure this out by now or anything like that. But like there's this like freelance trombonist, full-time freelance trombonist in the New York City area. He wrote a whole blog post dissing Joel Leslie, basically saying like, Joel Leslie is a cool player, but he's not. I'm not sure if he's that. He was like, I'm not sure if he's that musical or anything like that. But so essentially, what it all comes down to is like, do you get wound up over a silly video, or do you get wound up over someone's blog post actively publicly saying the whole idea that your musical is full of shit? You know, like one goes one over the other or anything like that. But another thing too is Joe Leslie knows this too, is like me using The Lion King in my YouTube videos. Like he has a bigger argument. He has a better argument to make for that as over him asking me to take it down and all that. And I'm not legally required to actually listen to him really because of fair use. But if he I don't know, like decides to take it to court, and the court decides that it is for whatever reason not considered fair use, then obviously then I would have zero choice but to just take it down basically. But the line is blurry and all that. So I'm gonna stop talking about that for now and move on to something else here. If you guys have any questions, just let me know in the chat, I guess. So the biggest I guess the chair and so the Malawi video was one thing, but I think the chair on top of it was the Pixar Soul video I posted. Everyone my back's getting sore. Everyone knew that like the Pixar's upcoming movie had like Pixar's upcoming movie had trombone playing in it, which was a huge deal for us, really. So we watched the movie, and it contains all but 1 minute of trombone playing. I was like, come on, is there not more than that? I mean, 1 minute is still an awful lot for the trombone community, I guess, because other times when you've seen trombone in any form of like TV show or anything like that, it's either held wrong, or it's animated and the slide positions are wrong, or it looks weird. But in all honesty, what Pixar did was for the trombone honestly was give the trombone, like, in my opinion, the most exposure it's ever had. Not only the most exposure, but also like the most accurate exposure to the trombone we've seen so far. I posted it in a lot of places and all that, and as of right now, I didn't expect it to get this big or anything like that, but from that video alone, I got 30 more subscribers, and it also has like over 4,500 views, which is amazing, honestly. So yeah, the video has 4.8 thousand views now, which is really amazing, and I have 279 subscribers, which is nearly 35 more than what I used to have. So safe to say with my own idea alone, I helped myself get over 100 subscribers then from when I started, basically. So yeah, from when I started back in May or March, when I was all on my own, basically. I guess it's an accomplishment to basically say, like, you put your ideas together, and the result you come of it is 100 subscribers, which is excellent, honestly. So yeah. Whoever dropped that second like button or hit that like button for the second time, thank you so much. I appreciate it. If you guys have any questions regarding like what microphone I have or what webcam I'm using, I guess I can talk about it now. So the microphone was the upgrade I most sorely needed. This microphone is the Shure MV7, which is a USB mic, which was released by Shure, a very very well known microphone company, like earlier this fall. The Shure MV7 is based off the Shure SM7, which is a pretty expensive but very popular microphone for recording podcasts or just recording your voice in general. Like, for example, Joe Rogan, very very well known podcaster, uses the Shure SM7, which requires an audio interface, which requires studio grade speakers, and then a computer. Obviously a very expensive setup, which is money I don't have, but now that I've graduated college, which is another big thing, so yay me. Now that I've graduated college, I've been blessed to have a lot of good family friends, good friends, and a lot of friends and family, send me awards that allowed me to afford, not awards, like graduation gifts that allowed me to afford being able to buy a lot of things really well. For example, the Shure MV7, which is a USB mic. I really like it. I recorded my trombone playing with it, and I could not tell the difference if I was playing or recording or listening to a recording. So I really like it. Yeah, I guess I'm getting more used to it, but that's the microphone right there. the webcam is another upgrade I needed. So if you were one of the few who watched my live streams from earlier in October or something like that, I was using my 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 microphone's crappy webcam, which was kind of a which is another thing too. When researching webcams, I learned that you get what you pay for. So I went balls to the wall and bought the Logitech Brio 4K camera. Um, and you might be thinking like, what if? And you might be thinking, if you're getting a 4K camera, does that mean you have a 4K monitor? And the answer is no. One thing I did learn is, even if your display is not like, even if your display is like 1080p and you're trying to play back high resolution footage, it'll look better because downscaled like high resolution image formats are like even better on all that. Make the look footage even better. So another thing too is like, as of right now, the webcam I have, the Logitech Brio 4K Ultra, whatever that is name is, I bought that and I'm really satisfied with it, honestly. If you're just tuning in, I'm just having a end of the year I got new stuff stream. So if you guys have any questions, just hit me up in the chat. I'll be able to answer that right away, basically. I began the first like 30 minutes of this live stream was basically like 1 or 2 viewers, and now we're getting like 3 and 4 now, which is excellent. So yeah. If you guys want to join my Discord server or follow my Instagram, the links are in the descriptions below right there. So yeah, my family's in bed right now, so I kind of have to be quiet right now. Yeah. I was really pleased with the performance of the Pixar Soul video. Honestly, it got me 35 subscribers now. I'm at 279 subscribers now, which is excellent. And 4.8 thousand views, which is really, really, really good. On the Trauma Pedagogy Facebook group, it amounts to staggering like over like 225 likes, and like in other Facebook groups it blew up basically, all except for the trauma subreddit, which someone had already posted about. So me uploading or sharing my video really just didn't do much. Really got like 4 or 5 upvotes. Yeah, 5. So yeah. When I was working on the Malawi video, I had basically set off practicing for like the longest time in my life, basically, since I picked up the trombone. Han David said listening. Hey Han David, how you doing? Hey Han David, I have a question. How does it sound to you? Am I too quiet? Does it sound too weird? Just let me know if it's weird or anything like that. I'm able to listen to how it sounds like through these headphones, which is really nice and all that. So yeah, I'd like to think it sounds good. So, and the levels are pretty good as well. So you should sound good to you. But if it doesn't, just let me know. I put off practicing for like the longest time. Han David said sounds perfect. Well, thank you so much, Han. I really appreciate that. Really helps a lot. Really eases my nerves, I guess. So I put up practicing the trombone for like the biggest. I put up practicing trombone like the most this past fall semester, my last semester in college. I graduated, yay me. For like the most, basically, like I would go like 3 to 4 weeks off practicing, practice once, maybe mouthpiece once, and then go another 3 or 4 weeks off. Like that's how little I practiced, and I was able to do that primarily because I didn't have lessons, so not practicing literally came with no drawbacks. Trombone choir was canceled, so that was sad. Yeah. University band, I couldn't do university band because capstone conflicted with that, and yeah, I just didn't have much to do really. So after I graduated, I could finally actually put my mind and focus on 2 other things, such as trombone. The first few days I was kind of like I could still play, except I had to relearn some things, like so I kind of played a lot the last few days, and like it came to a point where I was like, yeah, I can actually get back to where I used to be, and days where I used to be like months ago, really. So yeah, I basically I basically taught myself that like I can basically no matter how much time I take away from the horn, I can always get back into it. Like I know how to get back into it, which is really fun. Um, yeah. Um, yeah. Yeah. If you guys have any questions, just let me know in the chat, and I'll be able to answer you. Like, please answer anything. Like, I'm kind, me deciding to like stream in the first place is basically me saying I am letting my guard up. Please ask me whatever, even if it's the toughest question. So yeah, just let me know in the chat if you guys have any questions. I'm gonna stay around. I'm gonna stay around for a bit in case the view count keeps going between 2, 4, and 3 viewers and all that. So yeah. Maybe a question for you all, and if you guys don't answer this, is like, what was your favorite trombone moment of the year? Like even if it's like before COVID or anything like that, like what was your favorite trombone moment of the year? My favorite trauma moment of the year was when I was able to do a high E flat arpeggio earlier in the fall, and that was when I was kind of like, I can. From here, it was like it was really thrilling because then I didn't have to think of the high range as being this like ultra hard thing to do, really, and now I can just like do it, really. It's not. It's like being able to play high kind of made me think like high range is not about doing this really crazy thing just to get it right. It's simply playing the horn. It's simply playing the horn right. Like when you play a middle F, like when you play a middle F, like a lot of people can play the middle F, but then I kind of ask them, why doesn't it sound like or something really bad? Is it because they're playing it wrong or right? And their answer is because I'm playing it right. So apply that to every other note. And any note you play is just like, you can kind of play certain high notes decently well, but after that, not really. But the main focus of like playing any note is playing it right. It's not like, what is this crazy thing you're doing that allows you to play so high so beautifully? You're just playing it right in the way that's best for you, really. So yeah, that was one highlight for me. Two other highlights was me creating 2 documentaries, the one about Arthur Pryor and the other about Mallory McDonald. You guys can view those on my channel videos. So yeah, my hope is that like I get so many subscribers that no matter what, I will always have someone watching, which will be, I guess, more entertaining than earlier in the stream, basically. Yes, I watched the prior one. Han David, I have a question. What would you say is like Han, I guess I have a question for you, Han. I don't care if you answer this or not. It's like, what was something you liked and did not like about it? I'm curious. What I liked about it was I was able to find. I took the time to find everything. What I liked about it was like I took the time to find everything I possibly could, as far as information goes, to inside the video, and I'll safely say I was able to. And I could safely say, like, with what I was able to find, like, I was able to find quite a bit, and I was really happy with the video I put out. What I was not too happy about it was, I think there were times when like I had to like resort to not spending money because like some articles had like paywalls, like an article about Arthur Pryor's son, or I think it was one of his sons. Like it was about Roger Pryor, and like it had a paywall on it, and I couldn't access it, and I couldn't access that, and I basically did not want to force myself to spend money. It's kind of the same reason why, like, after doing the Arthur Pryor video using Premiere Pro, which at the time was offered to universities for free because of COVID and everything, like, they moved away from the free service basically, and started making everyone pay for the service and all that. It kind of reinforced my decision to use Final Cut Pro for the Malawi video, and that just reminds me, I did not ever talk about all the things I bought for computer technology this year. First thing I got was Final Cut Pro, which is Apple's professional version of iMovie. That was it was actually $200. It was a bundle that came with all the other professional apps, which I basically only used Final Cut Pro really. That was one thing I got. The other thing I got was a new computer, a new laptop, because the one I had before was 5 years old, and I could video edit. I could video edit off of it. It was I couldn't really complain with it. It's just the render times were really slow. And also the bigger thing was the project started to eat up so much of my space that that I had to get a new laptop because like external storage devices are only compatible with like newer USB-C ports, and my laptop just didn't have that. Essentially, if I had to get a storage drive that did work with my laptop, it would have had to be like $700 Thunderbolt 3 SSD with a Thunderbolt 2 adapter. Essentially, it was like already getting to the realm of like buying a new computer territory really. So I just decided to get a new computer. I did a lot of research, and I followed this YouTube channel called Max Tech, where they even go into external graphics processing units, which accelerates video editing workflows. And I watched this video, and what I found was that it's on certain computers, eGPUs as they're called, actually slow down performance or don't do anything at all. And in that case, it was the 16-inch MacBook Pro and the MacBook Air, because the Intel MacBook Air had a crap cooling solution. The CPU was here and the fan was here, and it just didn't really work at all. So I settled on the higher-end 13-inch MacBook Pro with 32 gigabytes of random access memory. RAM is basically like allows you to multitask and do a lot of things at once without eating up your storage basically. It was a perfect buy, honestly. I'm really happy with my buy, really. I was also well aware of the idea that like Apple was releasing their new Apple Silicon Macs with like Apple chips and all that. I was well aware of that, and I still decided I was content with buying this. And this was back in like the summer when I bought the new computer, really. And looking back, like after Apple announced the new MacBooks, and then kind of looking back, like seeing like how the new MacBooks, the new like M1 MacBooks are really good, except with what I want out of the Intel MacBook. Like the biggest thing is external displays. Like someday in the future, I want to have 3 external displays, which is only possible with an eGPU. And eGPUs are not possible with the new MacBooks. So I was very content with buying what I have, which is excellent. But right now I just need a bigger table to actually hold 2 displays and my speakers as well. So yeah. And then I graduated, and a lot of friends and family I was blessed to have a lot of friends and family reward me with gifts that allowed me to afford some pretty expensive technology, such as the 4K webcam and a $250 USB mic, which I really like, and also Han David really likes too. So yeah. So kind of looking at 2020 as a whole, I'm probably gonna wrap up soon. Kind of looking at 2020 as a whole, I would say 2020 was a bit of a roller coaster for me. Like, but in the end of it, I'd say I learned quite a bit about myself, really. And ultimately, in the end of it, I was able to cap off 2020 with a big fat documentary, as well as a short video that did really well. Like the when I released the Arthur Pryor video, I got like 30 more subscribers, which was huge. And I hadn't gotten that big of a boost in subscribers since like when I released like the Pixar Soul video. That gave me like 35 something subscribers. I had not gotten that many. I had not gotten that many subscribers since posting my Arthur Pryor video, which was a huge sigh of relief for me, really. Yeah, it's on track to get like 5,000 views by tomorrow, which will be amazing. Honestly, that's quite an accomplishment. Did I make a lot of mistakes even after leaving the Trauma Discord server? Absolutely, I did. Absolutely, totally. But ultimately, you need to learn something about making those mistakes. Is there something legal about this or that or anything like that? So yeah. Oh, I also got this Apple Watch, too. This Apple Watch SE. When I first got it, I was kind of like, I don't really need an Apple Watch because I hadn't even worn a watch for like a year and a half or something like that. But over time, as I started to use it more, I started to see like the benefits of actually having an Apple Watch. Like, if my phone's face down on the desk right now, if I look at the Apple Watch and it gives me like a notification, even though my phone's down, I'll be able to feel something going on before. Yeah, nothing much there really. I'll stay on for like a minute or two, but if you guys have any more questions or want to bid me farewell or want to bid me a shitty ass 2021, go ahead, because I can take it all. Honestly, I've taken a lot of hate before. I know. Take it all if you guys want to raid my stream or anything like that. So yeah. But besides that, I just want to say, I just want to bid farewell to 2020. I have plenty of ideas I want to do for my YouTube channel. At some point, I'll need to find a job that pays and provides health insurance. That'll be another that'll be a challenge for me moving forward. So yeah, but I'll figure something out, and I'd like to think I'm a confident enough person to actually pull it off. So yeah. I'm very content with, like, if this YouTube channel became a full-time job, I'd absolutely take this, honestly, because there's nothing I'd rather do than work my own schedule, because that's how that's how I know when I worked. That's how I know when I work most productively. Maybe I'll get 300 by the end of the year, who knows? But I do have a goal for 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2021. That is a goal I have. Yeah. Yeah. So in the fall of 2019, I got myself a girlfriend for the first time in like 4 or 5 years or something like that. But like, I don't want to go too much into it, but like, part of having a girlfriend is like, has made me much more self-aware of myself. One of those being my hair. It's like, she was like, Jackie, have you combed your hair or something like that? She, I don't know if this is like life advice or anything like that, but like having a girlfriend, the girlfriend is someone that makes you a better person. Really, honestly, I mean that's just that really. She's reminding me to do this and that, and ultimately I'm grown as a result of it. So yeah, that's fun. All right. Last call. If anyone has any questions or comments on if they want to ask in the chat or anything like that. Because I gotta eat my snack and head to bed now. Plus my family's in bed too. I was thinking about doing when I started to give my Discord server more attention, I was thinking about doing a Among Us night, community night or something like that. But when the time came, I was kind of like focused on setting up my server and all that. Yeah, the Discord stuff is my Discord server is a conversation for another day. I have another video coming soon. Yeah, I have another video coming soon. It's a trailer for a series of videos I'm hopefully going to do. Should the reception of the trailer are released in the next few days, give me enough confidence to actually do the whole thing. The biggest worry I have is like not being able to adequately address many of the things that the topic of the series covers as I'd like to, because there's just so much out there and I don't want to miss anything. But at the same time, I'd like to think that my confidence can get me to do something good enough. Like a friend told me, was like, if it's good enough, don't like perfect get in the way of good enough, or don't like good enough get in the way of perfect. I don't know which is. I'm too tired to think right now. Don't let good get in the way of perfect enough. Good enough get in the way of perfect. I'm too tired. I'm sorry. It's one or the other, but like, essentially, I shouldn't take it too seriously. Like, I was thinking about like after I released a shorter version of the Malawi McDonald video, which is the 49-minute long one, that I'd also release the 2 hour long version one by like next March 12th, which would have been their 18th birthday. But I kind of looked at the shorter version. I kind of said like, or I kind of looked at the draft of the long version, which is 51 minutes long. And I kind of said like, there's so much I'd do differently by now that I'd basically be redoing the whole thing. And plus, I had already been working on it for 6 months. The family has said to me, the one you already have out there is we are more than pleased with. And I was kind of like, well, if you guys are happy with it, like, then I really don't want to work on the Malawi video anymore, really. I really want to move forward and on to other things, really, because I really don't want to shoehorn myself into this one thing that I've been working on for 6 and potentially 8 months now. But yeah, so yeah, I guess that wraps it up for the stream. I don't know if I want to post this or not. But at the end of the day, I'd like to have something out there that basically says I can speak for myself, even though I don't speak clearly all that well. But yeah, for those of you who tuned in, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for the 2 likes. And hopefully next year we'll have hopefully by the end of next year we'll have 1,000 subscribers. That's a huge goal, honestly. But yeah, I do hope to achieve that by next year. It's a big goal I have. Yeah. Han David says, well, good luck. Well, thank you so much, Han. I really do appreciate that. Thank you. All right. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. You guys all have a good night and stay safe out there. Wear your mask. Get the vaccine if you absolutely need it. Protect yourself, protect each other. And yeah. And yeah, just be you. Just be you, really. Just be you. All right, everyone. Well, good night. See you later.